Welcome to another chapter, another podcast of the Emerging Composer. Today, we are going to be carrying on a conversation about the circle of fifths. And today, we're going to talk about the circle of fifths, the major scale, and their chords. All right, using the methods we just learned about writing out a major scale, filling in the sharps or flats or whatever, we can now write out the names of the notes in the key of G's major scale, like we see up above here. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. The key of G has one sharp. The note is F sharp. And you can see that's what we did. Now, this spells out the G major scale. Each letter represents a note in the G major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. But these letters also represent the names of each of the chords that are diatonic to this key. In fact, the word diatonic means in the same key. So the diatonic chords in the key of G will have these letter names. Now we got to figure out what kind of chords are they. There are 7 notes in the major scale, like I said here. Each note name is also the name of the chord built in that note. So the first note of the G scale is a G. So the chord built in that note name will be a G major or a G minor chord. So which chords are major or minor? So glad you asked. Here's what you need to know. 1, 4, and 5 are major. Everybody else is minor. Now, we labeled each letter of the chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, because all the relationships of chords in 12 keys are the same, no matter what key you're in. The 1 chord is going to be major. The 4 chord's going to be major. The 5 chord's going to be major. 2, 3, and 6 are minor. 7 is diminished. So it's going to be the same. So it might be a good idea for you to start thinking in terms of chords using numbers in the key of G. The G is the 1 chord. Whatever the kind of chord the A is, it's going to be a 2 chord. Well, 1, 4, and 5 is major. 2, 3, and 6 minor. 7, it's a minor-ish chord. It's a diminished chord. It's a altered minor chord. It's a part of the minor chord family. So when I teach this in a class, if a student says, if I ask a question, what chords are major, minor, and he says 1, 4, 5 is major, everybody else is minor, he's not totally wrong. I make him remember, though, that the 7 chord is a minor chord, an altered minor chord, and we call that a diminished chord. Now, we're not done just yet. The circle of fifths itself can be used to tell us what the major chords are in a key. All right, if we're in the key of G, you notice I've circled G here. I put a 1 next to that, outside of it, and the red, see that red 1 there? It's right there. There we are. That's the 1 chord, right? Corresponds with G being the 1 chord. Go counterclockwise, 1 click. Click. You see a C chord over here? I got a 4 above it. That's because the C chord is the 4 chord, right? Isn't C our 4 chord? Yes, it is. Then go back to G. G is your 1 chord. And you go clockwise 1 click. And then you have D. D is the 5 chord. So you can look at the circle of fifths and see right away in any key what are the primary chords, the major chords. I call them primary because those are the building blocks of songs. Every minor chord is related to a major chord. Major chord is home. All right? So you could look, see if I want to see something, let's see, go over here. Key of B flat. Here's B flat. Go counterclockwise 1 click. Boom. What's that? E flat. There's your 4 chord. B flat's my 1 chord. Go click 1 time. Clockwise, there's F. F is the 5 chord. So in the key of B flat is 1, E flat is 4, F is 5. Okay, what if we were doing the key of E? Here's E. E is 1, right? So counterclockwise 1 click. That takes us to A. That's your 4 chord. Clockwise 1 click goes to B. There's your 5 chord. E is the 1 chord, A is the 4 chord, B is the 5 chord in the key of E. Make sense? So there's lots of ways you can use this. So, as an assignment, for all the sharp keys, the keys to the right of the circle of fifths. Do what I did to the key of C. Write out the letters of the major scale underneath the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 again. And then label them appropriately. Put a lowercase m next to the minor chords, 2, 3, and 6, and a little 0, or an O if you will, next to whatever the letter name for the 7 chord is. You can see here the C major chord is C is 1, D minor is 2, E minor is 3, F and G are 4 and 5. A minor is the 6th chord, and B diminished is the 7 chord. Make sense? There's your sharp keys. Fill those out. Now, fill out the rest of the major scales on the flat keys, doing the same thing. Build your major scale, starting on the whatever key we're in, just like I did with the key of C. Fill in the letters, put the lowercase m next to the 2, 3, and the 6 chord, and the 0 next to the 7 chord. Now, once you get this, once you have this under your fingers, think about all the information you have. You understand key signatures, and we haven't even talked about reading music yet. But as a player, if I'm a guitar player, so I think in terms of chords almost exclusively. I can look at a key signature, and without having to read the physical notes, all I have to do is look at the key signature, count the numbers of flats or sharps, figure it out on the circle of fifths, and I know what my chords are going to be in that key. And I'd say 95% of all pop tunes, the chords are entirely diatonic. Pop means popular, right? They're popular because their songs are easy to listen to, and the public can be led along very easily musically. And the chords that they use are the chords that are diatonic to that key. So if you know what key a song is in, you have a really good shot at knowing what chords are going to be used in that song. Isn't that amazing? So do this, and we will be getting ready to take our next step from here, where we're going to talk about how chords relate to each other. Because now that you can build a major scale, and whatever instrument you play, you can figure out those major scale notes in your instrument. We've used the major scale to figure out what chords are in that key, right? And all that's left next is to see how chords relate. Like there are minor scales, minor chords. There are modes of the major scale. There's all sorts of information that we can pull. But this is where you start. All right, I'm done. I'll see you next time. This is Paige. I'm out of here. Have a great day. Bye-bye.